Hi everyone and welcome back to Men's Super League. We have Cathord and John Wilkie is jogging in from the other side of the room to join me for London Storm 1s versus Nottingham Sheriffs. I nearly forgot my own club's name there. I haven't put it on yet. Oh yeah, there we go. Right.
Sorry about that.
It's alright, I was late as well. Okay, so bit of a cagey start. I think this is a really... Well, it's a big game for both teams, but Storm will want this to cement their position as a title chaser.
Yeah, and sorry, I just had to run. Sheriffs, if you haven't seen their team this season, have quite a few kind of good, really effective signings. In Tim Day, who's just out.
Yeah, that really is commentator's curse.
Balin.
Orbis, yeah.
Yeah, who's moved across from MK. And then, kind of from last season, Cam Relton as well, which is, and Josh Hughes as well, moving up from the twos.
Yep.
So, a new kind of look Sheriffs team, and they've been really doing some really effective stuff. I say that with the head coach of Nottingham Sheriffs sat next to me.
I take no credit, to be fair. Robson, our men's coach, does an awful lot of work with them. So, yes, it is a bit of a new look lineup, whereas, well, and a big signing for London Storm, of course, in Finley Britnell-Craven, moving over from Spartans. But otherwise, a lot of people that we've seen last season, and then with the classic, like London Storm's such a huge club, there's always a bit of movement as people train more or less, or just generally improve. In this first set, Dave Prestage with one of his, what will be rare outings for us, last in with a great hit on Stephen Dumbe there, but quite a lot of room to make up with not much of the set played at, well, I think it must be just over halfway through.
Yeah.
Oh. I called out for a neutral zone line fault, so
Called out for the neutral zone. I think the phase before, a lot of people would have seen Britnell-Craven and Dumbe on the two ball attack and think, set's done.
Yeah.
But they decided to go with two singles, really, and Prestige did a really good job of blocking them both and keeping himself alive. And then with that, as you said, excellent hit onto Ndumbe. So,
amazing survival by Britnell-Craven, two big releases there. Jordan Taylor is hit out. I thought maybe that ball up in the air would be good for a catch, but I think too far off the back line. So at 5-6 to Storm at the beginning of this set.
Excellent block there by Britnell-Craven. And a really good heads-up play there by Storm to hit out Taylor.
Lovely catch from Sam Ward, I've got to give him one. So suddenly Sheriffs look a bit back in it, but I have to say, and Britnell-Craven gone as well, so 6-4 in Sheriffs' favour. But the blocking from that man on that wing is obscene. Like, you can't get past him.
Yeah, Britnell-Craven being one of the, one of the not more important, but a very effective player in both the Storm lineup and the England Lions lineup. Yeah. Great two-ball attack there onto Day.
Yeah, committed to that high one, I think just slightly too far into the shoulder, so great placement from Storm. One player advantage for Nottingham Sheriffs now, who'll be looking for a hit if I was them.
Fowler with a great block on the two-ball attack. They see the fourth ball leaving court or leaving their side to hold. Lots of this game, high aggression on both sides. We were chatting about the last game, Spartans Derby, as the Spartans brought a level of aggression that Derby couldn't quite deal with. But both teams here bringing a very high tempo pace.
Yep.
Free throw there from Ndumbe, doesn't manage to hit any target.
There we go. Good control there from Sheriffs in that moment. I think as well, I think this is potentially the thing that many sort of outside commentators would have said that Sheriffs were maybe a little lucky in last season. Just that real up-court aggression and the sort of the arms to really pull that off. Whereas I think now with the newer signings, it's looking a little better. So we still a one-player advantage for Sheriffs coming into probably the last minute of this set.
Free throw there.
Oh.
And a block there from Taylor. The shot from Fowler high on Taylor. The catch from Gittings.
Which Dave Prestige will be fuming as well, because of course Gittings once upon a time was a Sheriff. Just to lay claim to as many players as possible.
Ball goes up. Great hit by Relton there. Fowler misses the shot. A bit frustrated with himself, but
yeah.
I think Fowler's had an excellent set anyway.
Yeah, definitely, and that his control on that wing's been fantastic. And we've called out Britnell Craven for some fantastic.
And the ball pops up and Gittings takes another catch.
Yeah, Sam Ward now a victim of Dan Gittings. We'll see what Cam Relton can do. I think we have a time stoppage for something or other.
So Ryan Neal, the line ref, made a decision, had a question about it, and everyone knew already. So I think maybe caught sleeping there.
Yeah.
Big smile on his face.
But it's good. It's good to see the refs paying attention. You know, like at least he's saying things when he's seen them.
Yeah. So line refs don't have a huge amount of power to stop the game itself, but they are allowed to feed back, and that's what you normally find is the line refs will kind of visualize it with their hands.
Yep.
To then call attention to the centre ref. So Relton not managing to make that hit.
No. Amazing dodge the throw before though.
Yeah, an excellent survivability from Relton.
Yeah.
The Scotland men's captain.
Yep, and Sheriff's men's captain, so captaining this one as well. Oh, full start against Storm. And I've forgotten the rule.
Yep, so time is not paused.
Oh yeah, 5 balls.
It's a turnover, so it could be 5 balls. It's however many the team want. Most likely it'll be 5, and I can imagine 5. Interesting. Yep. I would have imagined 3 going towards probably a Ndumbe or a Britnell Craven being to their high priority wingers.
Yeah.
But they go for Sood. I think they went for a few targets there.
Yeah, I think Sam Lav did a lot of good dodging there. Oh, so that's Tim Day and Sam Ward gone. I think Tim may be a little guilty of looking for these catches on every ball, which, I mean, he's well capable of taking them, but this early in the game, maybe just a bit more survival.
Makes the ricochet.
Finally a fluke, not getting made good catches, but finally a slightly lucky catch there for Sheriffs to bring Tim Day back in.
Yeah, Ballint with an excellent arm off the shoulder of Fowler, and it kind of hit that point where it just ricocheted off. Relton, great heads-up play to make the catch. Sorry.
Yeah, good movement by Prestage, so he hasn't been found out by Sam Laverty. 3 balls to Sheriffs. Blocked by Britnell Craven. Another oh, Cam Relton throws through the block of Britnell Craven. Well done, but Tim Day has gone on the far side. Oh, that is absolute filth.
So, as we were singing Relton's praises, he goes for the trade with Laverty. The ball pops up. Yeah. Gittings excellently. There's 2 really strong blocks there in high priority areas. And what a catch by Prestige.
Catch it out. That's why you bring him along. We don't let him out often, but when we do, he does stuff like that. So that brings Sam Ward back in. 3-on-2 in favour of London Storm. 2 of Sheriff's bigger arms. Great hit on Ndumbe. Oh, and finally, catch by Taylor.
So, Laverty claiming, asking if that ball bounced. If it didn't bounce, it would have been a catch. Neely instantly said that bounced.
Yeah.
He dodged the first 2, was hit by Day on the final one.
Yeah.
Neely instantly calling a bounce. Laverty saying, yep, fair enough.
Yeah, and a wry smile from Laverty, so I think a genuine question. Ward, I think, was fairly sure he had hit him, but we've reset there. Points to, points to Sheriffs. Had I been Sheriffs and they'd lost that set, I think that would have been the time for a timeout. But I think we can roll forward now with a bit of momentum.
Yeah, so that would have made it 6-0, and the amount of catches in that game, it was really back and forth. So, some excellent play from across the board. It shows kind of how even this is. That it is coming down to those clutch catches, those clutch moments. We've had 2 substitutions on the side of Sheriffs. Yeah. Ballint and Taylor off for Hughes of the Josh variety.
Yeah. And Hughes of the Gordon variety.
And Gordon.
Yeah. So I think just trying to figure out how to best neutralise Britnell Craven on that wing. Ballin Borbus, as we said, has an amazing arm. It is his first season in Super League though, whereas Josh Gordon wouldn't thank me if I told you all how long he'd been playing dodgeball. So maybe a little more experience will help settle this side a bit. Good hit there on Ndumbe, and Tim Day did well to dodge there. Yeah. Nice to see.
Yeah, and one of the quirks of Tim Day, he wears the headband correlating to the team he's playing. And as an ex-Storm player, he has a Storm headband.
Yeah. Oh, another huge hit from Cam Relton, although we did lose someone. Who? Josh Gordon did get hit on that previous exchange, so we're now one player up still for Sheriffs.
And the pre-throw.
Even for Sheriffs.
Lavity surviving, but Relton hiding himself behind Day as he sneaks around and stops any counter-attack from Lavity.
Yeah. No, really good cover there by Cam Relton. 3 balls to Storm. Prestige, I think, will be a little annoyed, but they read that movement really well.
I think we've discussed almost everyone on court at the moment other than Sood.
Yeah.
There's Matt Sood.
With a double hit. So, you know, John, that really is commentator's curse. And to be fair, I think I admire the confidence from Sood. Like, he wanted to make a statement, and unfortunately, he's just got hit straight in the head.
Sorry.
A little unfortunate.
Yeah, sorry.
But no, I like it's not to detract from him as a player. I think one of the sort of understated understated players on the Storm team. They've got so many big names, big arms, whatever. But actually, the players that stay in the middle and stay alive contribute massively to that team's success.
And a great catch by Gittings. If you didn't know he was a cricket player, he's just showing you he is with a good. I think it's a long.
Long barrier.
The long barrier.
He loves the long barrier, does Gittings.
Makes the catch, brings back in Stephen Dumbe. What a name to bring back in.
Yeah.
Leaving Cam Relton and Sam Ward left in against Finley Britton-Craven, Dan Gittings, and Stephen Dumbe.
Yeah. I think a bit wonky maybe on that release, but equally Storm don't need the hit. So Cam Relton goes through, 1 ball release from Sam Ward, doesn't find target. I always hate this scenario as a coach. What are you really telling the Sheriff's lads to focus on? Trying to get that hit well blocked. Another good block and 2 wide throws that the Cam Relton can't find a catch.
I think you're certainly in the situation where, from both perspectives, the respect for the catching prowess and a good 2-ball attack as Britton-Craven comes forward to make it a 1-for-1. All Gittings has to do is survive, and he does that well. They come forwards. Britton-Craven doesn't go for the hit. Shoelace is undone, so time is paused. As I was saying, Storm and Sheriffs both in a situation where they have a lot of respect for the catching prowess of everyone here.
Yes, yeah,
everyone
definitely.
has been in a position where they've made a really strong catch, and in these dying moments, as we've seen from the catch from Dan Gittings, in the previous sets by the 2 ricochets, multiple catches, no one wants to be the person to throw the catch.
Yeah. Sam Ward comes up with with Malteser attempt. Right, I was going to say, we got a very weird momentum in that game, so I think the players knew we were very close to the end of the set, and I feel like that stoppage time was unfortunate because it just sort of stole that momentum away, but never mind. So, 6-2 in favour of Storm.
2?
6-2.
Oh yes, sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, that pause time is actually really frustrating for Sam Ward as he was coming forward for an attack. And obviously these courts aren't huge, it doesn't take that long to get up, but it's still more time that you are wasting.
And the difference between having your opposition on the backtrack around the ball return line and set at back of court is huge, especially in men's when the throwing power and now the 7-meter throwing distance decides so much of the result.
Slightly disjointed there from Storm, but a heads-up play by Britton-Craven as the ball does come back, so he has the liberty to release a third and manages to make the hit on Prestige. Day with a lovely hit on Sood there.
Yeah, and again, Tim Day looking for the catch. Sam Ward gets one though, so Dave Prestige will be back in.
Sam Ward deciding to be the strongest Sam on court.
Assert dominance, that's what we say. Oh, a really odd couple of movements, but I think well held together there by Sheriffs. Gittings finds Cam Relton though. I have to say, it pains me, but Gittings is having an excellent
so
game.
Gittings not managing to make the last Men's Super League meet due to an illness, and really, at least in this game,
showing why he's needed.
Showing why he has been selected for that Storm 1's team, which, as we would have said across the day, the Storm system has so many competitive players with 4 men's teams and 2 women's teams.
Yeah. Well thrown through.
Fowler making the catch, but called out on the last ball thrown at him.
Yep.
Making it 2v2,
2 on 1. One-on-one.
Fault by Hughes.
Dave Prestage will be looking for revenge. He's been caught by Dan Gittings once already this game.
Yeah, if you didn't see that on the camera, Prestige raises his eyebrows towards Gittings.
A lot of banter, but a lot of love between these two men.
And the running counter
they want to win.
And they're hit there by Gittings.
Yeah.
Lots of momentum here for Storm. 8-2 up now.
Yeah, we can't. Oh, and there we are resetting. I believe this will almost certainly be the last set of the half. Yes, so I think it really is going to be a 1 minute 20, I believe I just heard from referees on this set. So Sheriffs need to find some grit now, need to dig their heels in and stop the slide to some extent.
Yeah, similar story to the previous game where, well, actually no, that's the wrong comment to make. I completely apologise for that. These sets have been so much closer and coming down to those massive clutch moments, as opposed to the Spartans Derby game, the Spartans Phantoms game, where the kind of sets went one or two ways. We've had a substitution on the side of Storm. Matsu's brought off for Jake Sheehan.
Yep, and while we lost Ndumbe to an early hit, Lavity has just made that catch on Tim Day. So we are now 6-5 in favour of Storm, or we were. So Gordon takes Fowler with him, but shaking his thumb in a less than convincing manner.
Gordon.
Yeah, sorry.
I think Fowler was upset by just the getting out from the block there. It was a frustrating situation for him. I think he probably could have made the block across there, but the two ball attack came forward and made the hit.
Yeah.
I think those two wingers, and now Relton as well, is slightly more impactful, as Prestige and Ward aren't known for their immense throwing capabilities.
Yeah, I think both you'd say maybe known more as all-rounders, and especially and potentially even then weighted towards the catching side.
Yeah, I think both of them are excellent final players.
Yeah.
We say that as Prestige has just lost the 1v1, but both excellent, I would say support players, but just players that can help the team with almost everything.
Yeah, and you need, I think, especially I think it's maybe potentially more evident on the Storm side. You've got Ndumbe, you've got Brayden Craven. They are physically large players that dominate that wing, take up a lot of court space. But the work of the players behind them is so important, because ultimately, if people can throw down the middle, get hits off one ball, and survive your larger wing players, you're not going to win sets if everyone on court isn't working hard. So, big halftime talk for Sheriffs, I think. Storm, I think you get to a point where, like, are they lucky or is some of it skill? Like, there's been a lot of slightly wacky plays that have gone heavily in Storm's favour here, but a lot of that is fact they're really paying attention. They're looking for these ricochet catches if they're there. They're covering players so that people can jump in the air and take these catches. And I think they're being very assertive in the neutral zone, so they're maybe a little further forward than Sheriffs are when ricochet balls come back. If you were going to have to counter that, what would you be saying to Sheriffs at half-time?
So for me, obviously the luck kind of skill conversation, it comes to you basically put yourself in a position where the 50-50s favour you, right? And that's what the skill of those Storm players are doing. For Sheriffs, it's all about largely playing as patiently as possible and not allowing Storm to really capitalise on those heads-up moments, because it is a couple of times where I will take the foul block or the pre-throw there. The 4-ball attack, Fowler's out on the pre-throw, but then Gordon gets hit on a 2-ball attack. And you'd like to see, once Gordon's made that hit, a little more effort to stay alive there, because the phase isn't over once you've done job one. The phase is over once you've won the set. And it's all about doing every single job and then moving on to the next one and the next one. And it's tough to do in these situations where you are under the pump.
Yeah, and you're so focused on that first thing happening that, like, mentally it is, as you say, difficult to then be like, oh, and now I'm still actually alive. I need to keep myself alive after I've made that hit or that block or whatever it is.
Yeah, so I don't think Sheriffs are doing anything really inherently wrong in terms of tactics. I just think Storm have those big name players, and that they are making plays, and it's kind of small. One of the things that I say a lot is it's small individual errors that just compound.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's very fair.
One player has a lazy dodge and they're out, and then potentially that means another player has to do something else that they're uncomfortable with, and it just builds and builds and builds.
Yeah.
And when you don't make those individual errors, you're in a very good position to kind of survive and control sets. So quick start there from Storm, no outs.
Yep. We've had a bit of a lineup change for Sheriff, so I think similar thoughts maybe. So Josh Gordon's gone to support Sam Ward on that left wing, and we've got Balin Borbus and Josh Hughes on the right. Oh, who has just been summarily dispatched by Britnell Craven.
And 2 hits called as Taylor is hit out as well. He had no idea. It's just one of those things where...
Yeah, and if it comes off another player, it comes from such an unexpected angle that often you're like, did a ball retriever throw at me? Am I hit? What's going on? But the rest sorted that out, absolutely no problem at all. So 2 down for Sheriffs.
And across the court, Sam Anderson on... or James Fowler.
Yep. And we've still got Sheehan on for Sue.
Yes, so Sheehan's still on court.
Yeah.
Block there.
Lovely revenge hit though from Ward. So I think a good opportunistic attempt from Gordon onto Britnell Craven. Unlucky. Then Dumbe then takes Gordon out because he had his back to him. But I think it's important that Sheriffs did follow up with that extra hit, because at least they're not getting Storm get away with it completely for free.
Yeah, one thing that Ndumbe does suffer from sometimes, he makes these really large movements, but as you said previously, he's still quite a big guy.
Yeah. Yeah. He's an incredibly talented man. There's just a lot of him to hit.
Yeah. And whilst he is a very athletic man,
yeah,
sometimes it just happens. So a good 2-ball attack there from Storm, hitting out Josh Hughes. Nimble dodge there by the large frame of Sam Laverty.
Again, athletic but large. I think one thing I always find interesting watching men's, as people would have guessed, a women's player, is when to focus on ball and when to focus off ball, because the countering game, huge hit from press stage, and Sam Ward gets over the throw. I think sometimes it's frustrating to watch because people will focus on ball holders so much, but it's a credit to how effective ball holders can be with these sort of... Dave Pressage is absolutely nothing wrong there. I think as you can read from his face.
Absolutely nothing you can do about that.
Fantastic catch.
As we said, Sam Ward, a player that knows how to deal with, well, I say 5 Storm players, but he knows how to be a last player.
Yeah.
He's put himself in a tough situation there, being so close. I think it's something we see, especially in the foam games, that you don't see last players going so far forward. No. Because you're a lot faster moving forward than you are moving backwards.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. And I think another sort of psychological thing that's going to come into play here for Sheriffs is, right, okay, ideally, obviously they want to go back to this half, get back to this game. It's still at least drawable if they really get their skates on now. And they also don't want to concede set difference where they don't have to, just thinking of the table overall. But psychologically and sort of energy levels wise, this is their first game of the day. Do they actually want to be spending a minute with players in by themselves in potentially a borderline unwinnable scenario, or let that player commit? Maybe it happens, maybe they get in the neutral zone and make it happen, but then ultimately if they're out, we reset, we go again, and everyone helps carry the load for the rest of the match.
So something we saw from the previous game from Scotty Whitelaw is hitting through a lot of blocks. Yeah. And that's what Stephen Dumbe is managing to do now. With those increased throwing distances, bigger arms are exceptionally prevalent.
Yeah. Even more devastating.
So with a player who is as such a powerful throw, if you've ever seen England men's play or England mixed, you'll be aware of who Stephen Dumbe is. But with such a powerful throw, these reduced distances, those blocks are so much harder to make, especially on the backtrack in the neutral zone.
Yeah, and while I think we've seen fantastic block. Yeah.
The release came so quick that Gordon didn't really have a chance to react.
I think in his head you could sort of see that it occurred to Josh Gordon that maybe if he dropped in court it might be on, but to be as you say, the ball was away before it even managed to make a choice. Right, so we are 5-on-2 in favour of Storm. Oh. That is filth, because in all by rights that should have hit Sheehan in the head. But yeah, so that's 2 hits, and I think, to be honest, heads maybe going slightly for Sheriffs. Ward won't have been massively happy with just getting hit in the legs. I think he was maybe still looking to see if Hughes was alive.
Yeah, so what happened in that, we'll say that last hit, or the catch by Britnell Craven, is Anderson had screened Britnell Craven and Hughes took a really good opportunistic shot to go, well, your player's just walked in front of you, I'm going to
have you. Yeah.
Anderson's gone low, and it just so happened to be straight down Brittle Craven's gut, which is
unfortunate.
The easiest place to catch, really, for most players.
So I think had it arrived anywhere else, Finley would have had a lot harder job, but it didn't, and it wasn't. So, you know, you can play the maybes game for as long as you like. Good hit on Gittings, but we managed to get a 2 for 1 out of that. Somehow, I say we, that would be Sheriffs, and I'm definitely not biased.
Hughes made that great hit, the aforementioned good hit. Oh, and a great tombstone off the back of court by Ward, bringing back in Hughes. Hughes made that great hit off body onto Gittings, gets post thrown, and then the middle player from Sheriffs manages to get the revenge hit. So that's where the 2 for 1 came from.
Much better from Borbus. Yes, well done, Jordan Taylor, with the follow-up hit.
A 1 for 1 there from Ndumbe, hitting Gordon, but then the reply coming through, leaving in Brittle Craven and Sheehan against Hughes, Ballin, and Jordan.
Yeah.
The big frame of Ballin just getting hit by that 2-ball attack.
Yeah, and I think as a man still only playing his second ever meet of Super League, I think in some places you can kind of tell against wing quality like this, learning when to make those choices about movement versus blocking, things like that. But unfortunately, we all have to learn it the hard way. And I think when he's been on court, he's been very effective. But I know he'll be looking at this match again, being like, right, here are those marginal improvements. They're going to really keep him in these sets. Good pressure back at Brittle Craven from Hughes. Taylor did well to jump over Sheehan's ball.
Agreed as far as Super League goes, but Ballin, a €2 Hungarian player.
Very true, which does also have a 7-meter throwing distance. So maybe also just like settling in Worlds.
I'm unsure if he was at Worlds.
We'll fact check ourselves. But I think also maybe as well, just respecting the fact that it's only a second meet in this team, having, as you say, come from MK. A good hit on Brittle Craven there. So let's see if Hughes and Taylor can hold out this set against Sheehan. Really thought Hughes was going to run into that for a horrible second.
Yeah, the first hit comes across from Taylor. Taylor, a left-handed player, so not often players aren't super comfortable playing against left-handed players.
A lot harder to read, yeah.
So the ball comes across a cross-body. A great shot by Taylor is the first one. Goes underneath Sheehan as he tries to jump. Blocks a second, but it doesn't matter. So a great take there. Those points will be important, I think, mentality-wise as well. Gives Sheriffs a feeling they might have got their foot in the door. Let's open this up. Let's go again. Substitution, so we have Tim Day back and Josh Gordon back, while Sam Ward and Dave Prestage. Gordon was on the last set.
Oh, was he?
A false start by Relton, it seems. So 5 balls over.
It is harsh. I do think it's an improvement, like back from when it just used to be like reset and go again. I think getting on with the set and it favouring the other team is good, although it is a massive advantage if you choose to take those 5 balls. Although only 1 hit. Gordon did well to dodge, and I think Tim got found out by a late ball there.
Yeah, Day with the flamingo dodges. He goes on to one of his legs in the corner.
Yeah. 4 balls to Sheriffs.
Yeah, great.
Pretty good use.
That's an excellent cross court there. Ndumbe only focused on Taylor and Gordon in front of him. And then Relton and Zoltan.
Borbus. I don't know why it's
Ballin Zoltan Borbus, I think, is his full name.
Oh, right. Yeah, so he's chosen to have Zoltan on his top.
Yeah.
Anywho, less interesting for the watchers at home. 1 ball to Sheriffs, 4 to Storm, even on players. Oh, a catch made, and time stopped, and no one's entirely sure what's just happened there, but Cam Relton wants to have a word.
Relton, as a good captain should, straight in, same as Fowler. If you are new to Dodgeball, as per the rules, the captain is the only person allowed to communicate with the intention of influencing the refs. So they're allowed to talk to the refs. They're allowed to have that open conversation.
They're allowed to put their side across, yeah. And of course it's then up to the refs not to be influenced if it's not helpful.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I think, we might well be in for like a minute or so here while this just gets sorted out. I mean, to be fair, if you had to pick some linesmen who are more than likely to do a good job, the Spartans are a very experienced team and very good at paying attention, so hopefully we'll get this resolved momentarily. So I think Sheriffs think that we had a catch and nothing else, which would bring Tim Day back in.
So he is back on court already.
Who is already? So
he's already stepped on court for the catch.
Yeah. So that the refs will send him off if not, which would have taken because Ndumbe was already out, and that would also take Britnell Craven out? Oh yes, because Fowler's in the middle of the huddle, that's why I can't see him. So
at the middle, I wasn't paying as much attention as I should have been.
Yeah.
Anderson and Britnell Craven were walking off.
Yes.
So there could be a potential that Storm are left with 2 players on court, I'd like to say. Fowler and maybe Gittings. Is Sheehan in the outbox? Yep, Sheehan's in the outbox. So they could have 2 players left. Depending on what the decision there is.
Yeah. Jordan Taylor's going for a chat. Oh, we've got...
Daniel Henshaw being an excellent viewer. As soon as he's left the venue, he's straight on the chat.
Yeah. Do we know whether the Meteors game will be on this court?
We've answered that one.
Oh,
previously.
perfect.
I think Storm are going to win this game.
I think
I might be biased.
Yeah. No, I think statistics are in your favour there, John. I think the momentum coming out of this set will be fairly important. I think depending on what's happened. It might even be as simple as no one's sure who got caught.
So a shake of the head from Relton. No change. Plays are out. The plays should be out.
Yeah. Okie doke. Right. So the resolution is that it's going to be 3-on-6. And no one's very happy, but that's fine.
The conversation's still continuing.
Yeah.
Just clarifying things.
Yeah.
Jordan Taylor involved now. Unsure why. Relton just.
He just likes being involved. I think potentially, because often as a player who's made the catch, you're in a better position to know who you've caught than often the person that's thrown it. Because the person that's thrown it might have to deal with something immediately afterwards. So I think sometimes it's very frustrating if you feel that you've caught someone. So we seem to have had the conclusion that actually maybe Fowler didn't get caught, Britnell Craven got caught. Yeah. Someone can play it back and figure out. But my point I'm making is, the Storm lads had a lot going on right then, so it's actually fair enough if they're not entirely sure who is who.
Yeah.
Right, hits on Gittings, so now we've got a 6-on-2 advantage.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Sheriffs play this one out. The ball pops up, and Ballon manages to make the catch. 2 catches from Ballon this set, so he might have finally found his feet. Yeah, something that I would always recommend if you're not new to Dodgeball. 2 ricochet catches there. If you're not new to Dodgeball, is the phrase, I'm not going to repeat what the phrase is, but it's always drop the ball you're holding to catch another one. Because if you try and catch one ball with one in your hand, sometimes you miss it. Yeah, and just generally, and if you can, I feel free to disagree with me, John, I would say holding 2 balls for as little time as possible during an active Dodgeball game is a good thought. Like, you'll have seen players walk up with 2, like Sam Wilbur did when he's last in and threw 2 at once, which is a bit of a sort of like a last-ditch attempt. The ball ricochets up, Anderson makes the catch. Josh Hughes got the cover here, but Britnell Craven actually managing to take one for Sheehan, I think. But that's not how it works. Alex Such, one of the middle refs, was very clear that that's not the case. Yeah. So basically, the catch was too late to so the catch was before Britnell Craven got hit, which I think is right. I think the catch is valid for Britnell Craven to come back in, but if you do slow it down on the stream, let us know. Let us know, but also the refs play in real time. Exactly. And they have to trust their instincts. Yeah, and thank God we don't have VAR because we get nothing done. Just to clarify, if anyone is wondering, when we talk about Dodgeball here, we are talking about cloth Dodgeball. There are other types, but we are prioritising cloth Dodgeball, which is in front of you, which is a 5-ball game. John's, a wonderful hit from Gordon, who's immediately punished by Ndumbe. So I think well done on both sides there. A line fault from Taylor, so unfortunate. And that really has swung momentum potentially in Storm's direction. Good target there, but... Yeah, and Ndumbe as well to get low there. I think it was a good aggressive throw from Sheriffs, but Ndumbe read it really well and just got underneath. Doesn't even need to block, just gets his head out the way. Ooh. 2 hits. Unfortunately, Ballon Borbas not able to make that 3rd catch in this half. And Ndumbe punishing Relton there. Yeah, and I think, again, it's those switch second plays where actually Ndumbe see that maybe Relton's a bit distracted, although he has just blocked straight into Gittings.
And I
Sam
think
Anderson calling himself out for an invalid, but
Yeah.
Stephen Dumbe with the punish onto Josh Hughes anyway.
Yeah, so I think that's a shout out to Shin, because like every now and then you let go of a ball and you're like, absolutely not, what have I done? And it's a credit to him to have, had Ndumbe not made the hit, he would have been on his way to the outbox for a one-on-one. Right, we are, I'd have thought, at least halfway through this half now. Press stage and Ward's still off. I suppose we had a relatively long stoppage, didn't we? So it feels like longer than it has been in real time. A little bit of a kerfuffle in the middle at the back of the Storm 1 team, but they've held each other up.
Yeah, interesting there from Balin as he comes for that quick start, and Gittings was so obviously off balance. I'm shocked he didn't go for him.
Yeah, I think we've had a double ricochet here, and then I think Balin might have blindfolded, or indeed there was a hit that I missed slightly. There's a lot going on in this game. I think one reason that Storm are able to pull ahead like this is their opportunistic plays have been on point. Any sign of weakness, any sign of loss of attention, they are punishing Sheriffs massively.
Yeah, and it's shown by, to me, when you have players like Finley, Brindle Craven, like Stephen Dumbe, you want to utilise them, and you want to make sure they throw, make them shine.
Yeah.
And what's happening is it looks like this whole team is on the same wavelength of these are the players that are going to do the hard graft. We just need to support them as much as possible.
Yeah.
And a lot of teams do that. I think Rangers historically have been a team like that with Tamas Ward and Simon Parsons, Rich Stone Street on that other wing. They've been a team that have really been able to shine through the effectiveness of their wingers and their aggression, and it's all about pushing that as far as you can, especially in a men's landscape where a lot of teams are kind of plateauing, but plateauing at the top.
Yeah.
A lot of teams are reaching similar heights now.
And I think we've seen in the last 5 years sort of an explosion. I suppose everyone had a lot of time during the pandemic, and explosion of people really taking care of their fitness, making sure they're physically strong, putting on muscle. So the throwing speeds only get faster, and therefore the reaction times you need to react to an opportunistic play is getting shorter and shorter and shorter.
Yeah, you can no longer just be good at dodgeball. You need to be fit. You need to be athletic. Very rarely do you get players that are neither of those things.
Yes. I think so dodge! Oh! And then a huge block. Is that Sood come back on who's number 12?
Yeah, that's Sood there. Hughes just slightly not getting himself in the way. The rules are you have to leave from the shortest route possible, and he did exactly that. And I think Sood's wanting to go low on Taylor, but Hughes had just picked up on that kind of at the worst moment when he was covering that, and he did what he had to do. I think
not
if you're
malicious.
In that situation, you just make yourself as small as possible.
Try not to get in the way.
It just so happens that when you make yourself as small as possible, it has to be on the ground.
Yeah.
So a lot of throws, a lot of hits. The Storm with 5 players.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's potentially the first, or maybe the second iteration of like almost total chaos that we've seen on this court. But again, I think Storm are just more better prepared maybe, or more happier living in that space, and it works out in their favour.
Yeah, and the game's over. Storm with however many points they won by.
Quite a lot. So I don't think Sheriffs got points in the second half, did they? So it would have. So it went into the second half 8-4, 8-2.
I think that's a really clinical performance from Storm.
Yeah, I think
against a team that historically has done really, really well against them.
Yeah, and I think on the flip side of there, I know you could see it a little in the heads were dropping slightly for the last few sets. Sheriffs will have wanted more out of that. They're experienced players. They'll understand that actually they just came up against sort of like the whole immovable object. Storm with a greater force today, and that's fair enough. But I think some lessons to be learned there for Sheriffs, whether it's stylistically or sort of awareness, but I think you've got to give credit where it's due. Storm played an exceptional game and a particularly exceptional second half.
Yeah, so next on court 1, we have Manchester Killabees versus Bedford Mighty Eagles.
And I'm going to have to go because I'm supposed to be coaching my women's first team.
Yeah, we'll take a short break and we'll see you back in a bit. So for anyone still sticking around, we've jumped quickly back on to tell you that on court 2, Storm 2 have beaten Bedford Rangers. I'm not sure what the score was, but the cheers you may have heard across the board were from the Storm contingent. Just clarifying the score, that was 14-12 to Storm 2.